Thank
Chris
you.
just tipped $5. I heard someone called you Diddy Booty Jackson today. SMH, what is this world?
Shut the fuck up, nigga. You ain't heard nobody call me no Diddy Booty Jackson, nigga. Ain't nobody said that shit all day until you said that. Now you got me spitting all over my painting. Cause you pissed me the fuck off. Ain't nobody call me Diddy Booty Jackson.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. Ether, that shit that make your soul burn slow. That shit that makes your soul burn slow. Tony Khan gets absolutely thoroughly wrecked. And honestly, I didn't even see this coming, but hearing what he actually said and actually detailing the backstage stuff, it makes so much sense. Also, we have to talk about Liv Morgan and her weirdo stalker situation, a bit of an update on that, and I'll kind of give you somewhat of a quick TLDR as far as the lore in regards to that. Kevin Nash buries Becky Lynch, albeit not as badly as how Tony Khan just got buried, but buried nonetheless. And Rampage Jackson keeps trying to play the victim, while also simultaneously censor people who go after him because they say things that are true that he doesn't like. I don't know. But let's kick it off with Tony Khan and him getting completely and utterly owned. Again, Ether, that shit that makes your soul burn slow. Not me, just only describing this, describing the situation. You know, let me show you. You don't believe me? Okay, let me show you. Play the clip.
But it's like you guys said, that reminds you of Eric when he was starting to...
I would prefer people did not ask us any more stuff about Vince.
There's no comparison between Eric and Tony, Joe.
Right.
You're comparing a mark that his dad has a lot of money and was able to get into places most people wouldn't, and throwing tantrums, and and this is... What can he do? What can he do to go? Bro, first of all, you have to have leadership qualities. You're either born with them, somebody teaches them to you, but he's not a natural leader. He's not a strong leader. He's very wishy-washy. He'll tell you one thing, then another, and then another. And you're like, bro, you told me this and you told me that, and now you're telling me this. And then, and a lot of people don't want to make waves. They're getting paid and they're like, whatever he wants to fucking do. And I don't want to say names because there's people that I tell him, I go, why do you do that? He goes, Tony's idea. And I go, and why do you go along with it? He goes, I don't give a fuck. Just pay me. And when you're working like that, that's not a good place to be. And he knows he has the power. And he's not a guy that, that a lot of the boys over there that talk to me respect. And that has nothing to do with he went to work with CMLL or he doesn't want to use me or any other stupid excuse that you can come up with because I'm bitter against him. No, I'm telling you how it is. You're hearing it from Jack Swagger. You've heard bits and pieces from other people. And as time goes on, you're going to hear even more. And at the end, people go, you know what? Conan was right.
He absolutely thoroughly wrecked him. See, it's so much better when you hear it coming from the inside rather than the outside, because when I say Tony Khan is a shit booker, when I say Tony Khan is a terrible promoter and all this stuff, you constantly get the whataboutisms in regards to Triple H and WWE, as if I don't chew them out, as if I don't call them trash, as if they're supposed to be superior or something. No, I'm focusing on one subject at a time. If I'm going to call Triple H trash and terrible, there will be a video dedicated to Triple H being trash and terrible. That does not excuse the fact that Tony Khan himself isn't trash and terrible. And it's funny though to hear Conan actually talk about this and suggest that people don't really have the cojones to want to step up to Tony Khan because he's gonna take their jobs away. That's what it implies, right? What it implies is Tony Khan doesn't quite like being told what to do, which is fine. I get it. Look, in the end of the day, it's his business. He can do whatever he wants to do. He's Tony Khan. He runs the promotion. He's given the alternative positions for WWE superstars who leave that company to want to come to AEW. He is another pathway if you don't want to be pretty much minimalized by WWE. I get that. I understand that. But to pretend as if Tony Khan has not contributed to the negative stances of professional wrestling nowadays, you have to be incredibly delusional. And here's my thing. If you feel that Tony, and I've been saying this for years now, almost a decade, if you like Tony Khan, then go enjoy AEW. The product is not for all of us. We want to see it do better. We consistently follow the product, hopefully hoping that it actually gets a shit straight and that it actually, you know, does right for a goddamn change. But look, low be it for me, a lowly mark outside looking in, seeing the things that I say every other week, right? Criticizing what they're currently doing, asking why are you doing this? Why is the positioning this way? What is the momentum being carried in order to, you know, go out of your way to say that this needs to happen, whether it's a match, whether it's a story? Why is this taking place when you just did something completely different last week that's not really a continuation of what you're trying to put on this week? Nothing makes sense. And to actually have someone of veteran status to come out and say, hey, and mind you, this is a guy who worked with AEW, come out and say, hey, yeah, he's a mark. He's a mark. He's a mark who doesn't know what he's doing. And the only person I've ever actually seen, you know, outside of the wrestlers, outside of other commentary channels, talk about this on a legitimate level is a Jim Cornette, and really, you know, constructively criticize AEW and break it down little by little to maybe bring up some points that us lowly minded marks wouldn't actually notice. But Jim Cornette has never worked with AEW. He only speaks from experience. Now, granted, I know he's been asked to work with AEW in the past, but he only speaks from experience. Whereas you have someone like a Conan who was actually there, albeit for a short time, but there nonetheless, who can be a person from the inside looking in, surrounding, speculating, 360 in it, and being able to come out and say, hey, yeah, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Have friends there, most likely Jericho, I wouldn't doubt that, pretty much coming back to him and let him know, yeah, these guys, they don't know what the fuck they're doing type shit, right? My only thing, though, again, of concern is the fact that I don't know if that's true. Conan said it. I'm only going off of what Conan is saying. For Conan to outright say that the boys are afraid of Tony to actually challenge his decisions because they just want to sit there and make money because there's a mark in his play chair and he wants to be the controller. He wants to be first player controller, right? He wants to be the guy during story mode with no two players who don't want to give up his controller once he loses one of his lives, right? No, that's not Tony. Tony owns the game system. He owns the game. Therefore, he gets to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. And if you criticize whatever he wants to do, then get the fuck out of his house and don't touch any of his toys on the way out. I get it. I completely get it. Now, I'm only saying what Conan is saying, but I just feel like I'm a little bit more vindicated in my stances whenever I go after AEW. Just saying. But continuing on, we got some stuff that we have to talk about in regards to Liv Morgan. So let's check that out coming up next.
Sean Chan was arrested last month. He's now facing charges in Pasco County. Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie's live outside the WWE Performance Center. Hannah, the suspect flew all the way from Canada to Orlando and then drove to her home.
Marley said that's exactly right. And according to federal documents, he made the trip on the very same day he received his passport. When he arrived at MCO, he told agents at U.S. Customs that he was staying here at the WWE training facility, which isn't even an option. Instead, a few days later, he headed 2 hours away from here to the home of WWE wrestler Liv Morgan. A BB gun, a backpack, and an attempted break-in. Pasco County Sheriff's deputies say this is Sean Chan, the 41-year-old showing up to WWE superstar Liv Morgan's Pasco County home on May 31st. Her surveillance cameras caught him circling the house twice. The BB gun isn't even Chan's. Deputies say it was on Morgan's front porch. According to documents, Chan tried to get into the home and even appeared to look for a spare key under the doormat. He stayed there for more than 2 hours, leaving behind a handwritten note. "It's me, Sean, the guy you all hang out with on FF2 online," he writes. "You all disrespected, exploited, and invaded my privacy on a daily basis. I came here to pay just a friendly visit, nothing more, yet I'm the one who looks like a stalker. Thanks to all of you." 3 days later, Chan was arrested on June 3rd here at the Performance center by Orange County deputies. He'd shown up to an event and security recognized his face. Chan is now charged with burglary. A federal indictment involving the FBI shows he's also facing a charge for interstate stalking. When Chan was taken into custody, deputies also found 2 vials of liquid with Chinese writing on him. When asked what it was, he allegedly told deputies they were both medicine meant to treat injuries, one of which was supposed to stop bleeding. Live in Orange County, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
So it seems like Liv Morgan's little stalker, her little what would you say, secret admirer, if you will, right? Apparently, he's trying to get out of fucking jail. He's trying to get out of custody. He actually thinks he can do all the weird shit that he just got caught doing not too long ago, and actually believes that he can just leave. Like, I totally just didn't try to break into your house. I totally most likely didn't just try to hold you hostage. Definitely wasn't a complete threat to your life. Maybe definitely wasn't a threat to your safety. No. Just because I did all that doesn't mean I should not be staying in prison. Here, check this out. Chan was arrested by the FBI on June 3rd after WWE security personnel were shown security footage from Morgan's home. They recognized Chan and immediately alerted the authorities, leading to his arrest. He was indicted on June 25th and faces up to 5 years imprisonment if convicted. But check this out. Recent court filings show that Chan has signed a waiver of speedy trial. According to the records, the purpose of the waiver is to, and I quote, allow adequate time to conduct a psychiatric evaluation of the defendant, end quote. Chan's trial is currently expected to begin in November. As of this writing, Chan remains incarcerated in Hernando County, Florida. On August 20th, his attorneys filed a motion asking the court to reconsider holding him without bail for the duration of the trial. The filing stated that a location at a Salvation Army has been secured where Chan could reside if released. The court has not yet issued a ruling on his request, or on this request, excuse me. What is wrong with you people? Seriously, you really don't understand this new wave that's currently circulating around the internet, right? Circulating around the world, right? It's called fuck around and find out. And unfortunately, with this lunatic, he's at the founding out part, like the part that pretty much holds you accountable for the dumb shit that you do. Yeah, he's currently on that arc right now. If anyone were to go, if there was a judge that allowed this psychopath to actually get released under any circumstances whatsoever, that judge has blood on their hands if something happens to Liv Morgan. Like, we need to stop this. We need to stop this. We need to start holding people accountable. And you know the funny part? All the people who were there defending the people who were going up on Rhea Ripley and enabling that type of behavior, it's you assholes that enable that type of behavior. Where do you think that all eventually leads down the road to? And you may say to yourself, well, Devontae, it's not everyone. And yeah, generalizing typically would mean a bad thing, right? But there will always be one person within the group. That's what I'm saying. And maybe you can't go out of your way to stop anyone, even if they weren't in the position that Rhea Ripley was in when she got mauled by a bunch of virgin zombies the other day, right? But at the same time, you minimalize that situation happening. Okay, you minimalize it. Constantly putting people in harm's way for whatever contrarian opinion that you have ain't gonna be suffice enough when eventually something happens to them. And by the way, you be a part of the crowd that actually went out your way and say that there was nothing wrong with this. Understand that it's those kind of opinions that, in my opinion, should lead to blood being on your hands to a certain degree. The guy's a fucking lunatic. Stop enabling this type of behavior, whether it's happening to someone like fucking Liv Morgan or to someone like a Rhea Ripley, where it can stem from and be rooted in, you know, the shit that happened to Roxanne Perez with the lunatic in the FBI, going up to the OnlyFans model who was pretty much going after Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and Dominic Mysterio. Stop enabling this behavior, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of Sean Chans somewhere in my audience in particular who think this type of behavior is okay because the women bring it upon them. They need to stop wearing, oh, I'm gooning to the next woman. Oh, this is her fault for making me goon. I mean, this is the reason why you have hijabs in fucking Muslim areas for religious purposes, obviously, but this is the reason why you have that, because they can't control their urges, so therefore it's the woman's fault, so therefore we should hide her body so we can control our urges even more. You people are fucking sick, dude. But continuing on, we got to get to the next portion that we have to discuss at the moment.
Hey, stop.
Say something. Back up.
Stop.
Say something.
Stop.
Daisy, bro. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Get on the ground.
Get on the ground.
With great power comes great responsibility.
And I quote, "Love Kevin Nash, but he is about as wrong as you can get. Becky Lynch is one of the best women wrestlers in WWE. She is also a fantastic heel, as witnessed by her work with CM Punk on Raw today." By the way, this was last night. Look at the date. "Couldn't be more wrong. She is the hottest thing on the show. Gotta get them clicks somehow, eh? My quad is hurting all of a sudden. What the hell is Nash talking about? And we can all say the same about Nash and his opinions." Now you're probably asking yourself right now, Devontae, what's the context? Why are all these tweets being tweeted at big old Kevin Nash, big sexy Diesel, bit daddy cool Diesel, you know what? I'm gonna show you right now why these comments are being aimed at Kevin Nash, and you assess whether or not they happen to be fair. So here, take a look, check it out.
The Becky Lynch promo in Birmingham, she referenced, it was a heel promo, and the city, the heel, the cheap heat in the city in Birmingham. But what she said, Ozzy Osbourne had just died, and a beloved figure from Birmingham. She said, quote, "I'm not wrestling in Birmingham. The only good thing that came out of here died a month ago. But in fairness to Ozzy Osbourne, he had the good sense to move to LA, a proper city, because if I lived in Birmingham, I'd die too." Do we cross a line there to get the heat?
I think her run's over. I think she's grasping.
You think it was a desperation?
I think the business has passed her by.
Now, obviously, Kevin Nash is being sarcastic here with the business has passed her by, but is he really too far away from the actual notion of what he's actually trying to put across? Not necessarily. So hear me out. Obviously, she's trying to go with the times. Obviously, she's doing this current thing with Seth Rollins and his family right now. Everybody keeps calling it a ripoff of the Dick Riders. I don't know why they're calling it a copycat of the Dick Riders. I don't see it. I don't understand it. We've been seeing stables like this for, decades now. I don't get the premise. But nevertheless, though, this is what the IWC is running with. Now, I'm going to have a completely different take, and I'm going to suggest that, once again, her peak was literally in 2018 and 2019. That was her peak. When I heard her cutting that promo against CM Punk last night, and she says something weird. The catalyst as to why she's doing what she did to CM Punk, you can pretty much rely, that's what I would do. I would just rely on the simple fact that, hey, it's my husband, you're feuding with my husband, I fucking hate you automatically. You would think that'd be like the obvious take, but Becky Lynch's way of actually, approaching this is some weird, delusional, they were chanting your name during my matches as well. With that logic, I think there's a bunch of wrestlers, maybe even still on the roster today, who should be wanting to beat the shit out of CM Punk by that very logic. It's fucking stupid. But that right there, that take, that representation, that presentation of the gimmick, when he says that everything has passed her by, this is just my opinion. I truly think he means the creative and how they actually, create stories for some of the superstars. It just doesn't fit her. How's that not evident from what you've seen right there? Now, you can suggest that Becky Lynch in herself isn't credible enough to carry out a story like that, but look at the reasoning. Look at the stupid fucking reasoning, bro. It's dumb. Now, I get this also. Kevin Nash, again, kind of evoking a little bit of an exaggeration by suggesting that, because I'm pretty sure Becky Lynch still gets views. I'm pretty sure Becky Lynch still has a diehard fan base. And I'm pretty sure Becky Lynch overall in the scheme of professional wrestling is relatively popular. Not as popular as she was previously, but still one of the most popular women wrestlers in the world that you wouldn't want to lose, right? But that still doesn't take away from the fact that what he's saying in comparison to what you're seeing from the audience is insanity. The amount of people that I see put Becky Lynch on a pedestal nowadays, it has to be strictly based off of her legacy, right? And by legacy, we mean that little small portion of the era in WWE when we were so desperate for something to take us out of this creative nadir that was WWE at the time, that 2018-2019 period, that it was so garbage, it was so lame that women actually had a chance to main event. Actually, they did main event WrestleMania. That's how bad the product was at the time. Has nothing to do with her being high, but it does suggest that the product was so bad at the time that the women had an opportunity to main event WrestleMania. And good on her for capitalizing on that, but that's not the way it is right now. And if you have her fans constantly having to lean on her legacy to get across this point, that speaks more to you, that speaks more to your fandom, and that speaks more to your bias and your opinion versus what everybody else thinks, right? Everybody can see the writing on the wall as far as Becky not being the same character as she was previously, being way more cringe than usual, having worse matches compared to what she was having even on NXT. She is declining rapidly. Now, maybe this Seth Rollins run might do something for her, but to pretend as if what Kevin Nash is saying right now isn't relevant, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If you're, I don't know, devoted dick rider, then by all rights be that. But I don't know, at least have the self-awareness to understand that she's not the same character as to what she was about 7 or 8 years ago. Can we do that? Of course we're not. Of course we can. Of course we can. But the creme de la creme, let's put the cherry on top of this shit Sunday, and let's get to the last portion of this video.
I got people like MMA Guru telling me to stop streaming, and he's trying to dig up the past and stuff, and he opened himself up for defamation of character. He's a fucking idiot. He's talking about the time when I got in that car accident, and he's twisting the facts. Like I've already that's old. I already did interviews about it and told everything, and I never was speeding. It wasn't a high speed chase. Didn't crash in the back of somebody going 60 miles per hour, and no one had a miscarriage that day. And only damage I did was hit a side view mirror. That's why I didn't get no time, but I did get 200 hours of community service. So what I did was I went to different schools and I talked to young kids for 200 hours. I talked to young kids and told them about the street.
MMA Guru's like my old neighbor. Had to bang his wife to cure his racism.
I ain't gonna lie. Homeboy looks like he got insecurity problems. Like he wear the same little beanie and stuff all the time, and you know, he's like one of those guys.
Want to squat up on Rainbow? I'm Emerald too.
Yeah, I squat up on Rainbow. He he's like one of the insecure guys. You can tell he got small dick energy. You can tell people like that, they hate themselves, and he loved the sport of MMA.
Fresh 9,
but those people be hating on us because they can't do what we do.
Did you and Christine make up?
Do what you do? You mean attempted murder, right? That's what you mean by do what we do. Because I don't know what you're getting at. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you stop this? Huh? Can you please stop this? Rampage, you're not making any sense. Now, can we take MMA Guru's comments and actually keep it within context and see what he's referencing as far as this defamation that Rampage Jackson is discussing at the moment? So apparently he's an idiot, opening himself to defamation. I wasn't speeding, no high speed chase, no miscarriage. Homie got insecurity problems. That's what he's saying, right? Well, let's look at the actual, let's keep it in the context here. Let's look at what apparently MMA Guru actually said, right? Now, mind you, again, I'm looking at Grok right now because I can't find any, maybe if I actually look hard enough, I could probably find quotes, but I couldn't find anything at the moment when I was actually clipping this. But apparently in 2008, Quentin Rampage Jackson was arrested after a hit and run in Costa Mesa, California, where he struck multiple vehicles and led police on a pursuit. He pleaded guilty to reckless driving and received probation. Reports initially linked the crash to a woman's miscarriage, but the DA later found no evidence it caused it. A related lawsuit was dismissed. MMA Guru in recent videos responding to Jackson's son referenced the incident, implying a high-speed chase and miscarriage, which Jackson denies as twisted facts. Exact quotes vary across sources, which we just seen it right now, right? But as far as MMA Guru, like I said, I couldn't find any video of him actually discussing this, but then again, I didn't look hard enough. So we just have to take what Rampage Jackson is saying at face value, but ignore all that for a second. I just need to know, because he actually referenced this in other videos, what does this have to do with MMA Guru not holding your son accountable? What he essentially, I'm presuming what he's stating is he's calling you a terrible parent overall, that your behavior as far as what you portray, which I can only presume when you portrayed it at the time, this is what, 2008, so what, Roger would have been like 8 years old, give or take 7 or 8, when you portray the actions that, for an example, influence someone like a Roger Jackson, this is what it leads up to. That's the bad parenting complex that everybody keeps discussing when referencing you, Rampage. I don't understand how he doesn't know this. I feel like he does understand this. I feel like as if he does get the premise of what's being discussed currently, but he just doesn't want to admit to it simply because of pride, which fine, sure, go for it, I get it. But when we bring up the context of your son, understand this is what's being referenced at the moment when we talk about bad parenting. Understand when we get to the conclusion of what Roger ended up doing, what he did, this is what we're talking about as far as behavior patterns that constantly stem from your reckless actions that led to him being raised in this manner that concluded with what he eventually did. Once again, as I said in all of these videos, the onus goes directly on Roger Jackson. But that doesn't mean we're not allowed to look at what could have prevented any of this. Maybe it wouldn't have prevented any of this, but we are allowed to look at where the root cause stemmed from and at least analyze and see where it all came from to know whether or not this could have been something that influenced Raja's behavior. Do you understand that now, Rampage? Do any of the people in the comment section who keep deflecting all the stuff that Rampage has contributed to, they keep going out of their way to circumvent all of that, to suggest that, whoa, Devontae, I feel like you're trying to get away from the fact that Roger did. No, unlike you guys who want to stay at surface level because of your man crush on Rampage, I'm the only one out of this discussion between me and you that's trying to see everything in its fullest context, bring it all together, and actually analyze it properly. But that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. How do you feel about Rampage Jackson still trying to play the victim? How do you feel about Kevin Nash going out of his way to bury Becky Lynch? What would you do with the weirdo that won't stop stalking Liv Morgan? And the context as far as what Tony Khan was discussed in via Conan, would you have framed it in that manner? Do you agree with any of the comments Conan has said about Tony Khan? And if you do agree, let's bury him together. I'll join you in the comment section. No, I love Tony. He's my favorite drug dealer. But with that being said, as always, my name is Devontae, aka Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you fine folks later. A deuces and a P. Ice.